I'm Simon Mitchell, and I'm here with Lizzie Sambrook and Al, a talented saxophonist. She plays in a band, Al and the Sunflowers, playing all different types of music. Lizzie plays a signature Pro Series Cannonball sax designed in calibration with Jerry Albright, a well-known American jazz saxophonist who has played with the likes of Whitney Houston, Phil Collins and Shaka Khan. So, what got you first playing the sax?
I was at secondary school and I was watching a school concert, and within that school concert the swing band was playing, and I remember one of the sixth formers at the time stood up and played an awesome saxophone solo, and I remember just thinking, that's what I want to do. I want to play that and I want to be able to do that. So that's literally was inspired by a school concert.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Power of school concerts then.
I know. Music in schools is important. I'm just going to plug that right now.
Clearly so, yeah. And sitting next to you we've got Al of the band. So what got you into singing?
Oh God, that's a good question. When I was little, I was completely obsessed with cats in the West End. Literally obsessed. All I wanted to do was jump around, parts around, and be one of those cats on stage. So I guess that definitely instilled a desire to be on the stage. So yeah, I then went to theatre school when I was 18 for my university years, and it kind of went on from there.
Right. Fantastic.
I can't look, I can't stand, and I can't breathe. I can hear her begging, pleading for him to leave her be. We could all see it coming, but hidden shadows from the fear. It was easier for her and for me.
And so your sax is quite a beautiful sax. Can you show us it and talk us through it?
Yeah. So this is a Cannonball Gerald Albright signature series saxophone. It's black nickel. And it's part of the Big Bell series. So you can see here, this is the bell of the saxophone, and it has a bigger bell than what some other saxophones might have. So this makes it quite a bright, vibrant, loud saxophone. This is a silver crook, which again helps create quite a bright sound. The keys have stones on them, jasper stone, all part of making it beautiful. I used to play Yanagisawa saxophone, which is an excellent saxophone as well. But I played the Yanni more for classical and jazz, and I felt that I just needed a saxophone which was to stand out a little bit more for when I was playing function music and doing my solo gigs. So I went to Dorks Music in Maidenhead, great brass and woodwind shop, and got this.
Fantastic. Well, it looks amazing.
Thank you.
And so what makes your sax special over, well, I think you've already answered it, over other saxophones?
It all comes down to personal preference, really. Some people love to play Yamahas, some people love to play Selmas, but I was drawn to the Cannonball. It's a reliable saxophone, it creates a great sound, and it is just a little bit different because it has the black nickel on it. That just gives it a bit more depth to the sound, but it's like a pair of shoes. It's what you feel most comfortable with.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And now you call your sax Jerry, and of course there is a well-known track, Baker Street, played by another Jerry, Jerry Rafferty.
Indeed.
Is it a track that you play much?
Absolutely not. No, I don't. I know it, and I have played it, but it's not something I play often. No, that's not my bag. People always ask you to play either Baker Street, The Simpsons, or the Pink Panther. I usually say no to all three and play something else.
Oh, well, fair enough, yeah.
Take me for a ride. Take me for a ride.
And now you've been with the Sunflowers for almost 10 years, so how did that come about?
Yes, well, do you want to tell the story? Yeah, it's quite a...
Yeah, so Lizzie and I grew up together. From I think we met. We used to do horse riding. We met when we were about 5 years old. So we've been lifelong friends. And then in 2010, we entered a thing called BBC Introducing, and one of our tracks was selected to be played on the Sunday show. There were 4 judges, and they chose our track as the winning track. However, when I wrote that track, I didn't have a band, didn't have any other songs, didn't actually really write at all. And they told me that I had 6 weeks to get ready for a BBC Introducing gig, which would obviously be half an hour's worth of music. So I frantically called my guitarist that I'd work with, and but he found a bass player, and then remembered that Lizzie had always been playing the clarinet and the sax, and was like, mate, would you like to be in my band? We've got like 6 weeks to get a whole thing going. And she said yes.
Well, and it's sounding really good, having heard some of it tonight practicing for your gig. So how do you juggle your music with work life?
I'm very fortunate in that I work in a very musical environment anyway. My 9-to-5 job is working at the Royal College of Music. So even though it is work, it doesn't always feel like work because you're working in such an amazing environment. So I'm doing that weekdays 9 to 5, and then I'm usually gigging at the weekends. How I juggle it, I don't know really. I'm just good at organising my time and being organised. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's good. And how about yourself?
I don't at all. I don't. I'm terrible. I'm very busy with work, and it has definitely taken its toll on the music side of things. So we now, so Lizzie does an awful lot with other bands and with DJs and all sorts of other things. I unfortunately just actually really don't have time at all. We tend to do about 3 gigs a year now, unfortunately. But I'm constantly like, at some point we will do more, but trying to get us all in the same room at the same time, particularly now we're 6-piece band, is really, really hard work. But yes, it's a new year, so kind of. So we'll do more this year.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. And you have other interests such as horses outside of the band, so can you tell us about that?
Yeah, well, both Alex and I have been horse riding since we were 5-6 years old. That's how we originally met. We're both really fortunate that our mums loved horses and horse rode, so naturally we were given that opportunity to ride, and we had our own ponies, and we did pony club together, we did picnic rides together, we collected acorns from the fields together, I kept doing that right up until I was 18, until I went to university doing pony club. Then went off to university. Obviously couldn't ride as much, but when I came back from university back home, I would continue riding and doing a little bit of competing and hacking. And now I'm very lucky that I can still ride because my mum has her horse. And so I get to ride at the weekends as and when I can, which is really lovely. It's a nice therapeutic thing to do because working in London throughout the week and commuting and gigging is quite stressful. So it's a nice release, really.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see, seemed kinda cute, it was very happy. I've given him my name and anyone in the game knows the place he went to look was facing. Oh no, I'm so sure everybody sees and everybody knows. Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I should know it all along. Oh no, I'm so sure everybody sees and everybody knows. Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I should know. So Wednesday day, I get a text to say please come across my number till I want a day. I couldn't really think the reason why I was through. He was a gorgeous man. I walk in this club and I look around, and I wonder why my feet are sticking to the ground. The music's full of drums and it's wet on the floor.
Oh, that's quite a... Let me think. I've got lots of different influences, really, depending what type of music I'm playing. So if I'm playing something that's jazzy, then obviously very obvious influences might be someone like Charlie Parker. He's a very famous saxophonist, but also a bebop player called Lou Donaldson, sorry. So heavily influenced by those jazz alto saxophonists. On the other side of the coin, if I'm playing along to DJs, then I'm obviously inspired by Lovely Laura, who instigated that whole sort of style of having solo saxophonists playing alongside DJs. So her style of playing, I listen to the kind of things she does and what techniques she uses. And then I'm the biggest fan of Tower of Power, which are an American funk band. So if I'm trying to play something funky, then I would love to be able to play like those horn players. There's all the guys within that band, Tom Politzer, and then there's other players like Maceo Park, which you've probably heard of. He played with James Brown. And then obviously Gerald Albright. He's got a fantastic tone, and he plays effortlessly, and it just sounds incredible. And yeah, like you said earlier, he's played with many artists. And then lastly, someone who I absolutely adore is Candy Dulfer, a Dutch saxophonist. She played with Prince, and she's awesome. Really, really good. So I have lots of different influences from different sort of genres, really. So yeah, a wider influence, yeah.
Yeah, oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And same question to you.
Yeah, Caro Emerald would be a big influence for me, and a bit of Lily Allen. She's always inspired me lyrically. Caravan Palace inspire me, and a bit of Sia maybe. It's a bit of a combo, but I'd say that Caro Emerald is probably our closest likeness.
Okay, cool. And so have you had any favourite moments when playing the sax at concert, on stage, whatever?
Yeah, I should think, and probably still to this day, one of highlights of performing was at Hammersmith Apollo in 2014, thanks to a friend of ours, Ian Penfold, for his 50th. He hired out Hammersmith Apollo and put on a music show there, and he put together some bands, and we did a gig there. And I was very fortunate to be asked to play within one of those bands. And we played a great set, and it was just really, really amazing to be able to play on such an iconic stage and an iconic venue. To over 3,000 people, I think, at the time. So that was amazing. But then also, other highlights have been performing, my final recital at university and at jazz college and things as well, because being able to show all the things you've been working towards and what you've been doing, they've been special moments. So, trying to think if there's been any particular gigs with the Sunflowers that a particular gig we might have done that stands out.
I guess we've just had lots of moments on the stage where we are, as a band, we tend to interact quite a lot on stage. So there have been special moments at almost every gig we've ever done.
Yeah.
Right.
There's been a something where we've gone out going, oh, that bit was really good fun.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. We always have a giggle on stage.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So we've got the gig coming up now, which is in a few days. And can you tell us about the gig that you've been practicing for?
So we've got a gig coming up this Friday, and it's at the Acoustic Couch in Bracknell, and we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a really great show. There are two bands playing, us and another band whose name escapes me right now. It's a Latin night. We're really, really looking forward to it because we've got two guests in our lineup for this show. We've got Christian on kit and Humph on percussion. So we're really looking forward to having that within our lineup for this one.
Fantastic, yeah. And you're looking forward to it as well?
I can't wait.
Excellent. And how many gigs do you do in a year?
Al and the Sunflowers probably do about two to three gigs a year. Alex's work calendar takes her abroad. And getting us all together like she said earlier, sort of in one room is quite difficult. So we don't gig often. Me doing gigs generally, I'm gigging weekly.
Right. So you're quite busy with that.
Yeah.
And you're gigging abroad as well, are you, or is it just work in general?
No, I'm a TV presenter, so I work in motorsport, and that takes me all around the globe.
Yeah, so fairly busy then.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, good luck, and I look forward to the concert on Friday.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Okay, so here I am at the Acoustic Lounge, just waiting to go in and enjoy the band playing this evening. So let's go on in and see what we see.
Please make lots of noise for Alexander and the Sunflowers.
Down the streets of this international free memories of midnights and tranquility. We mirror empty hope of the divine virginity. Never almost roller coaster routes never meant for me. I touch a smiling knowing that's the one day someday soon will come the time my only chance to dance never let me. Shall we see candlelight upon a hammer throne? A moment of healing. We never need to know. Is it time to go where no one should go? Is it time to go where I know I should go? Is it time to go? This one is Balcony of Wonder. In my dreams there is romance and passion, but instead he keeps playing these games. Forever going, spiraling circles round and round, and not up and down. He doesn't notice this beautiful girl on his arm is looking around to find something better, someone to get her away from the world she is in, to a place of enticement, pure excitement, and naughty fun of the sin. Oh, la, 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 la. Oh, la, 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 la. Oh, la, Lola gets whatever she wants, even the teddy and pretty G-string. Didn't work will make it break a sweat. You think he'd be ring-a-ding-ding. I'll find something better, someone there to get me away. The world I am in, to a place of excitement, pure enticement, and naughty fun of sin. Oh, Everybody sees and everybody knows. Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I should have known it all along. Oh no, life's unsure. Everybody sees and everybody knows. Oh no, it's all gone wrong. I should have known. Down Facebook.
Big hands together, please! Alexander and the Queen of the Sunflowers! Do you want to hear some more?
Ciao,